Today we're talking about how casting works, casting the big stars, peppering in the other supporting roles, and putting the entire cast together for your film. Here we go. Hi, this is Tom Malloy. I've raised over $25 million for financing movies. I've produced at the time of this video 16 films. I've written 30 plus screenplays and options sold or made into movies, 24 of those screenplays, and I've starred in a bunch of movies, so I'm an encyclopedia on filmmaking. Okay, today I want to talk about how casting works, all right? So the key is that when, and I've done a video before on hiring a casting director and why it's essential for your movie. But I just want to say that a little bit more about the process of attaching a big star to your film and then going down and peppering in all the other supporting roles. When you're casting a big star, that's when you're making offers. And through the casting director, you're making offers on the film, all right? And so the key is that when you make an offer to an actor, you can't just make 10 offers. A lot of people don't understand that going in. That's not how it's done. And it could get you a bad reputation with the agencies, and they just may not take your next movie project or just be interested in working with you at all, period. All right, so the key is you make one offer, and so say you're making an offer to Olivia Wilde for your film. So you make that offer, and you usually give an expiration date on that. That's good for a week or so. As the filming gets closer, those offers get tighter. I've gotten to the point where I'm making 24-hour offers or 48-hour offers because it's like, we're shooting in 2 weeks, like we need to know right away. A lot of times, funny enough, that gets a response. But I wouldn't start out that way. You don't make 24-hour, 48-hour offers when you're shooting 5 months from now, then the agent will see right through that. You got to give sometimes the actors a little time. Sometimes an agent will come back and they'll say, Natalie Portman's available, but she's not even going to be able to read that script for another 2 months or so. And so then you have to go, I don't want to wait 2 months and who knows what's going to happen at that point. And you got to kind of weigh it. I did mention something real quick called availability. A casting director, a great casting director will check avails for an actor. That's the first step. Like I mentioned Olivia Wilde. They will call Olivia's agent and go, is she available in April, right? And they'll come back to you and they'll say she's not available. And then that means, well, you can't even consider her for this film, or they'll say that she is available. There's another one that's called tech available, which is technically they're available, but they might be shooting something else. But the key is you can't make the offer if the actor's not available. We want you to shoot in April. And it's like, well, she's doing a movie in April. It's not going to happen. So the key with those is that you make the offers until then you get that kind of hook in, all right? And at that point, when suddenly there's interest from the actor, now it's usually the producer stepping in and talking to the agent or manager and talking about the project. If there's any time in there that you can get the director to sit down with the actor or actress, that is a plus, because then the actor will be sold on the film. And then it's a lot easier to do the negotiations when you know the actor really wants to do this movie, all right? So you do that with the big main lead roles and as many names as you're going to cast in your film. Now the rest, what'll happen is that the cast director will go out and get recorded auditions, okay? And they'll send in their videos, the self-tapes, where they'll send in, and then you'll be able to review them. So what they do is they put out something called a breakdown that just basically says the character of Joe is this, he's a bartender, and he's surly, and he's in his 50s, and he loves to insult people that comes to his bar, but at the end of the day, he's a good guy, right? And so those are the breakdowns. And they go out, and the agents and managers every day read these breakdowns and see what the roles are. So the agent manager thinks, I have this guy that's, that'd be perfect for this role. And they submit it to the casting. Then the casting kind of goes through that list and says, yeah, send an audition from this person, that person. They go down. Then the auditions come back. When the auditions come back, they are immediately passed on to the producer and the director, and they go through them. And you, as a producer director, would go through them and think, okay, who works, who doesn't work. It's usually the director that has the decision, especially on the supporting cast. Producer only really steps in to help with the decision when it's the bigger stars that are going to be the money for the film, and it's like, hey, no, we're casting Olivia Wilde, and you can shut up. I don't care if she's not your type. It's the exact type that we need for the money, right? So that's where the producer kind of can veto the director. But it really is a director's game at that point as far as who he wants for each role. So especially with the supporting roles, the director's going to look and go, okay, I like this guy, I don't like her. And so many times what they'll do is they'll do a second round, or they'll maybe, read, because the audition would have been one scene or so in the movie. They'll say, okay, try this bigger scene or something like that. So that's what's called a callback for the actor. So if you got three or four people that he really liked to play the bartender, Then you give them another scene and you say, try this one. And then you see that second scene and then you go, all right, I want this guy, this is the one. And that's how it works. Then the casting director will just kind of finalize the deals. Usually you have the same deal memo for all those supporting actors. And again, that's different from negotiating the deal for the big star or stars of the movie. But that's when a casting director is invaluable, because they're just negotiating the deals, closing the deals, getting the actor set, as far as the details of the project when they're shooting and all that. Then it's passed on to production, and that's when the second AD is going to call them for the schedule. Maybe a production manager is going to call them and tell them where they got to do, arrange the transportation. It's moved on to the movie, the production, after the cast director has closed that deal memo. It's signed, it's done. The cast director does that for every role in the movie, and then their job is finished. Okay, it moves on to production from that point. But that's an idea of how casting works. There's a lot of information there, but that casting is a big beast that really directly affects the outcome and the financial outcome of your film. If you want to check out more videos and training on filmmaking, check out the link below. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.